What's up, gamers? Welcome to episode 6 of Tier List. I think this is the closest back-to-back. I'm already blurry. It's going to be a great episode. I think this is the closest, shortest amount of time that we've done back-to-back tier lists. Episode 5 to episode 6. I'm not making no weight that much. Last time we talked about Pokemon, we did all of the Pokemon mainline Pokemon games ranked in a tier list. And then we did, we talked about the Generation 8 Pokemon. We just completed Dark Souls 2 in our last stream, kind of in this stream. And so now, it's tradition, we're going to rank all the bosses in a tier list. Have I done the Dark Souls 3 bosses? I remember doing it, but I don't remember it being in a tier list episode. I'll have to go back and check that out. But let's do it. What do we have in chat ready for this Dark Souls 2 boss tier list? I'm going to try to go bottom to top. That's what I try to usually do, is work our way to the best of the best. Alright, so it's really tough because I know the few bosses that stick out to me as really, really awesome. But are there bosses that stick out to me as terrible? What I have to try to decide in this is, do I put bosses just based off the fight, strictly just the boss fight? Like, maybe I can take into account lore if I know it, but do I do strictly the fight or do I include runbacks? Because, for example, everybody knows the absolutely lovely Ludden-Zollen fight, if we include the runback, is F tier. But the actual fight itself, it's not F tier. It's not great, but it's not F tier. So, I kind of think I just want to do the boss fight itself and not the runback. Because if I include the runback, that's going to change the list a bit, because there are some stinkers. So I think I'm going to go just based off the boss fight itself. So what are just the absolute worst of the worst? You're playing through Dark Souls 2, and these are just the dumbest bosses. If you do the runback just to leave Blue Smelter, yeah, Blue Smelter and Ludden-Zollen, we're going to be quickly moved into F tier. But we're going to go just off the boss fight. So what is just the worst of the worst boss fight? It's so much easier for me to pick my favorites than it is for me to pick the worst of the worst. And again, it's weird because, okay, actually, it's not that bad. I think the worst boss fight, like just not fun at all to fight whatsoever. Like, it is impossible to get any enjoyment out of this fight. This is kind of crazy to say. To me, the worst boss fight in Dark Souls 2 is hilariously the last one. Aldea sucks so bad. That is the worst fight ever. I didn't think that was going to be my least favorite boss fight, but it's actually atrocious. I'm looking at all these bosses. I would be okay refighting any of them before Aldea. Aldea's fight is so bad. He just has this pool of lava under him 98% of the time, so you're literally not allowed to touch him. And then his attacks do so much damage, which it's like, it's fine, it's whatever. I died to him like 8 times, which it felt like more. I felt like I was fighting him forever. Because you literally just have to sit there and do nothing until you can get 3 attacks in, and then here comes the lava, and that's it. Apparently, according to me and your imaginary headcanon, I said he's a great boss. I said I misremembered. So what do I know, according to you? Bram, I'm sorry. I even admitted before I even said that was my memory of your statement. I admitted before I even brought that to light that you totally did say this boss was not good. So, here's what it is. I think Aldea is my least favorite boss in all of Dark Souls 2. I'm not even taking into account just the disappointment of, oh, there's a hidden secret final boss that I have to kill 4 other bosses to unlock. Oh boy, I wonder what it could be. A freaking just fat blob of nothingness that is on fire, like a flaming tree. It's like Beta Chaos, but I'm not going to say worse, but maybe equally as bad. I don't know, dude. Okay, it's not worse than Beta Chaos, but Aldea is just awful. Almost worse than BOC. Not quite. Almost worse, though. Oh, gosh. Okay, what's next, though? Like, when I'm looking at terrible bosses, like Covetous Demon, it has charm to it. It's not a good boss, but it's not F tier. Are there any other bosses that just suck? Just raw F tier. The only other one that comes to mind, this is not a difficult boss fight, so it's not like my heart is filled with hatred for it. It's just dumb. And that's I believe this is the Royal Rat Vanguard. I believe Authority is the big dog looking one, and the little one is Royal Rat Vanguard. This fight, you walk into the boss fight, and there's just a million rats. You kill enough of them, and then the main one, who looks pretty much just like all the other rats, but he has like a little hair do going that is slightly different from the normal rats. And then you just kill that one rat and the boss fight is over. It was really stupid. It's not like smash my PC frustrating like Aldea was, but it's so stupid. The rat bosses might be down there for me. Yo, Pram, I hadn't even read that message. We are on the same wavelength. Facts? Are you talking about the rat bosses sucking, Deadly Mouse? Because, yeah. The other rat boss I also don't like, but this one is just stupid. It's literally just a normal sized rat enemy that you have to pick out of a giant crowd. It's so dumb. The other one's bad, but I don't think it's F tier. Are there any other bosses I'd say this is just should never have been a boss? Because yeah, the other boss is kind of, it's not a good boss, but it's not like just terrible. I don't think there's any other bosses I would, ooh. Oh, I wouldn't say F tier though. I think these might be the only two F tier. What are your thoughts on Ancient Dragon? We'll get there. We'll get there. That was the most times I died to a boss. But we'll get there. Okay. I think this is my only F tier. I think Aldea is the worst, so I guess I'll put him to the right. Left will be the best, right will be better. I won't necessarily always do it that way. Like, I won't necessarily rank them completely in order, but for the sake of this. Aldea is the worst. Royal Rat Vanguard, I think, is second worst. Now, I've got a few coming to mind for D tier. I don't know what order for sure. But this, I don't know what is the, like, mainstream name for this triple boss of just NPC enemies. You got Havel, who's not Havel. I guess it's a follower of Havel. And then a basic knight and an archer. Honestly, to be fair, I kind of don't mind the concept of that. It's just weird that it's a boss, because it doesn't feel like you're fighting Dark Souls enemy gank squad. That's a good name for it. Thronies. It's small to me. Okay, gank squad. It just doesn't feel like a boss. Like, they're cool enemies. I like the fight in concept. In practice, it's a little bit annoying. And it doesn't really feel like a boss. It's just kind of like 3 invaders that you fight simultaneously. So, if it was like 3 unique boss type enemies instead of just invader characters, then I'd like it better. But I'm going to throw it in D tier. I might bump it up to C tier on a good day, but I don't think I could go higher than C tier for it. I'm going to go D tier. Yeah, I'm gonna go the Royal Rat Authority. Just this ugly dog with some mini dogs. I don't hate it in concept. Again, same way I feel about this other D tier boss. In concept, I don't hate it. In execution, it's just lacking. And now that I'm talking about it, the Congregation plus Magus, whatever that is, same idea, except no. It's a worse version of the Deacons of the Deep, which is already not that good of a boss. I'm surprised. I should not have said the other two without saying Discount Deacons, because I don't know what they're actually called. Congregation plus Magus. Congregation maybe is what people call it. Discount Deacons, that's what I'm going to call them. That's my name for it. Discount Deacons is really annoying. It's really dumb. The alpha version of Deacons, taking a while and some junk has been happening. You liked it though? The Gank Squad? Discount Deacons is a pretty normal nickname for them. Well, it works. Yeah, it's just annoying. It's a dumb boss. I died to it twice, which should have been a one-shot, but I got one-shot by the mages like twice, I think, was how I died both times. Is what it is. Dumb boss. I might rearrange some of this eventually. I always say that in my tier list. Everything is subject to change till the end when I say, I like this list. So until you hear me say that, everything is subject to change. You would have Nishandra in D tier. I wouldn't go that far. Not quite. Alright, let's just go C tier. I don't have much to say. C tier, I'm going Covetous Demon and Rotten. I feel pretty similar in these bosses. Rotten is a better boss, but they're both pretty much the same problem for me. It's these really slow, big, ugly bosses that don't really pose much of a threat. I believe I one-shot both of these bosses. Rotten, I do think, is a little bit better of a boss, but not too much better. He's got a sword, so his attacks are a little bit more unique and more fun than just a giant Jabba the Hutt slug that just tilts over and smashes you. Covetous Demon just has a little charm, a little cuteness, pathetic charm to him that makes me like him. Covetous should probably be in D tier. I just like him too much to put him in D tier, you know? Rotten is Nito version V2. Maybe Nito V 0.5. He is not Nito. Not lore-wise, not attacks-wise. He's a big, slow guy, so I guess that makes him like Nito, but I don't know. Nito's greater. Some of it is tough. Made up of a lot of bodies. Oh, I guess that's true. I wasn't really thinking about it that way. He has a lot of the same attacks and sounds for his attacks. Huh. Some of these I'm pretty torn on whether to go C or B. You know? Because, like, I pretty much know what my S tiers are. And my A's. I feel like I'm going to have to be mean and put stuff in C tier that I almost would have put in B. Like the Demon of Song. Hilarious boss. I thought that boss was so memorable. So funny. It's a giant frog, which is hilarious. And then for some reason it has a giant skull head in its mouth that comes out and slaps you. That part's kind of weird. But the giant frog concept in a pond, I think is so funny. So, kind of like Covetous Demon, I like Demon of Song because of how it sticks out in my memory. But it's not a great boss. This is gonna get rough because there's so many. I feel like C tier is kind of mean for a lot of these bosses, but at the same time, if they were in other Dark Souls games, they just kind of be forgettable bosses. So, like, I'm about to go ham. Last Giant, C tier. Flexile Century, C tier. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean. The first Dragon Rider, C tier. And I don't mind these bosses. They're fine fights. They're just so average for Dark Souls 2, which would make them sub-average, subpar in other games, you know? What are we thinking about the C tier so far? Am I being way too mean to any of these, or way too nice? Should some of them be even lower? That's quite a lot of C tier bosses, really. I know, that's how I feel. There's even more I might be putting in C tier. Like, the Snake Lady? Not Najka, that's the Scorpion Lady. What is Snake Lady? Mithra or something? I'd say you're being nice to Java. I know I am. I'm trying really hard to keep him in C tier. He's a D tier boss. I knew it from the start. But he's the top of D tier. He's just so cute. The snake boss, don't care for the snake boss, like, at all. Mytha. She sucks. I mean, she doesn't suck. She's just C tier. You agree more or less? Ruined Sentinel Trio. That's a C tier boss. That maybe is the most C tier boss. I'm gonna go right there. It is like the first triple boss in the series, which is cool. I'll hand it that. I'll tip my Captain Ruined Sentinel Trio as being the first triple boss in the series. Although, do any of the other games even do triple bosses after Dark Souls 2? I don't remember any in Elden Ring and Dark Souls. So, the first of a dying trend. Anything else that needs to be in C tier? Let's start doing the B tier. Actually, no. Ava is C tier. Ava looks so cool. The, like, blue, white, ice Bengal tiger looks really awesome. But it's just kind of a big beast that flashes its claws around. I'll give it top of C tier, though. Najka, Nashandra, Alana, Blue Smelter at C tier for me? Jeez. That is some hate. Well, let me get into my B tier. We'll see how it goes. So, I put both Smelter Demons on the same level. I feel like they're about the same difficulty for where you fight both. I've struggled way more on Blue Smelter Demon, but that does make it cooler. That it's like the same boss, but more difficult. Well, maybe that doesn't make it cooler, but I'm going to put both in B tier. Old Iron King. I almost put him in C tier. Strictly based off the fight, it's a C tier boss. But it's so cool looking. It has one of my absolute favorite boss arenas ever. Ever. The giant volcano in the background, the lava everywhere looks so amazing. That's how I feel about Centipede Demon. Centipede Demon's boss arena is so cool, but I hate the boss. I don't hate this fight as much as I hate Centipede Demon. And this arena is probably even cooler. I'm gonna go B tier for now on Old Iron King. But if I have to start dropping stuff, it'll be one of the first to drop to C, probably. It's awesome looking, it has good lore, but the fight, man, the fight is trash. I'd say it's a D tier fight with A tier presentation. I feel like it's a great way to put it. I put it in A tier because it's a D tier fight with A tier, maybe S tier presentation. Probably S tier presentation, D tier fight equals B. I feel good about saying that about Old Iron King. Centipede Demon belongs in the basement with BOC. You cannot put them on the same level. Centipede Demon is bad, but you cannot put them on the same level. Centipede, just wait. I'm going to rank every boss in all the games. We're gonna get there one day, and I'll do it right. You didn't feel that way until I tried it hitless. Oh gosh, I forgot about that. Chariot Race. I don't remember what they're called. Executioner's Chariot. B tier. It's a gimmick boss, but it's pretty fun. Pram just called it like probably his favorite gimmick boss in these games. I'd have to think through all the gimmick bosses to see if I would say the same, but it is a cute, fun little racetrack boss, which was fun. I'll give it B tier. What else? As much as I love the callback to Ornstein, the fight is pretty basic. It being Ornstein makes me want to put it in A tier, but I don't think I can. I'll put him in B tier. Because the fight is just inferior, I can't even put it above the Smelter Demons. I love the old Dragon Slayer Ornstein fight. But yeah, I can't go higher than B. Here's an example of me backtracking. Pursuer is going to C tier. It's fine, but eh. I thought about maybe putting it in B tier, but I don't like it as much as Ava, and Ava is top of C tier, so I got to. I feel like I might have to throw some stuff in C tier again. Let's keep moving though. You like the Pursuer fight? I mean, it's fine. He does like the same 3 attacks. It was the second boss or the third boss I fought. It was the first boss I one-shot. I figured out his moveset very, very quickly because he has like 3 attacks. Without cheese, it feels like a dance. There's a lot of bosses I feel that way about. Pursuer, eh. I have seen since I beat it, I have seen the crossbow cheese, and it's so funny. I don't know. I was thinking in my head it was going to be a B tier fight, but seeing how everything else is shaping up, I think I got to go C tier. The Lost Sinner is one that I'm conflicted about. Some might disagree, but there's absolutely no way I'm putting it in A tier. I'm conflicted on B or C. I didn't spend as much time with this fight as I was expecting. I mean, it's okay. It's just, I don't know. Something about the Lost Sinner fight, it was just like kind of bland, you know? I didn't feel like much was happening. It was just kind of a fight. I'm gonna keep it in B tier for now, because I feel like it's a little bit better than how it's sticking out in my head. I just don't know for sure. Belfry Gargoyles, just a standard B tier fight. Low B tier. It's a B- fight. It's not special. Scorpion is Noshka, another B tier fight. Nothing special. It's pretty much the same with Duke's Deer Frasier. It's okay. Duke's Deer Frasier looks awesome. Coolest looking spider fight in any of the games that I've played. Sorry, Quaylog. Frasier beats you on the coolness factor. It has a really weird name. I wish it had a cooler spider sounding name, but it is what it is. Quaylog has a cooler name for a spider, that's for sure. Skeleton Lords. Skeleton Lords is a trash fight. I know it's a trash fight. I know it's a stupid boss. But I just think Skeleton Lords is cool. And their boss theme is so epic. Why do they have one of the coolest boss themes ever? Oh, Najko, did I get that loot? Is it loot that's like up top somewhere? Maybe? I don't really remember. I remember, if that's what you're talking about, I remember that loot. I don't know, though. It's so not worth it on a tree. I think I got it. I don't remember for sure, though. Don't remember for sure. Is the music kind of loud? Because it sounds loud to me, but I think it's quieter on the stream. Couple consumables or a small soul item or something? Gotcha. Any other bosses? I think the giant lord or lord giant, whatever, I think it's a B tier boss. I think it goes right about there. It's fine. It's better than the last giant. And I'm pretty sure in the lore, are they the same giant? Is the giant lord and the last giant the same giant? But this is like the memory of it when it was like BA. I watched like a little bit of lore videos today, and that's one of the things I saw. You don't even hear the music? You don't hear music either? How turned down do you have the stream? I like to collect shiny. I feel that's Aloha. DS1 weapons tier list win. We might get to that. We'll see. Out of all these bosses, which one was the coolest looking? We'll get there. Speaking of cool looking, the Chandra is such a cool looking boss. I don't think it's a C tier boss. I think at least it's a B tier boss. It's fine. It doesn't feel good enough to be a final boss, but it's a fine boss on its own. It is kind of bad, but not C tier bad. It's B tier. I'd put it above these. I'd probably put Nashandra right there. Nashandra, however you say it. I want to put Skeleton Lords in B tier so bad. I can't in good conscience do that, though. As much as I love their music, as much as I love the coolness of their presentation, it's just kind of 3 mages and then a frick ton of skeletons, and then you win. Music is cool. Skeletons are cool. Boss fight, not so cool. C tier. Sorry, Skeleton Lords. I wanted better for you. I agree she's a waifu. What else is B tier? Dang, there's so many mid-tier bosses in this. There's not that many I would put higher. Dragon Rider Duo. It's a better fight than the first Dragon Rider, but they're not A tier, which means I gotta be B tier. I think I like their fight better than the Lost Sinner. Do I like it better than the Chandra? No. Right there. Right there. We're running out of bosses because so many are going in C and B tier. Any I need to drop to C out of this B tier yet? I don't think so. I think I'm liking my B tier. Anything else going in B tier? Yeah. So, if we're going just off the boss fights, the Tiger Duo, the King's Pets, Lud and Zolin, just beat them tonight. It's a fine double boss fight. It's B tier. It's not much more than that. I'd probably put it like there, just below Lost Sinner, probably. In general, I think double bosses are cooler fights than the one-on-one boss. Like, if it's 1 tiger versus 2 tigers, or 1 Dragon Rider versus 2 Dragon Riders, I think the doubles are a cooler fight. But I'm not set in stone on that. Just in general, I feel that way. A good chunk of those dragon bosses are ass. Kyrogus has a soft spot for dragons. Oh, you're gonna find that out. That being said, let's talk about Ancient Dragon. You asked me which boss I think is the coolest looking. I'm not gonna say for sure it's Ancient Dragon, but Ancient Dragon is in probably the top 3. I probably go the best looking bosses, Dark Lurker, Ancient Dragon, Burnt Ivory King. Those are probably my top 3 coolest looking bosses. Ancient Dragon is so freaking massive. It's so cool. Every time I walked into the Ancient Dragon arena, even though I was pissed because the boss gets kind of whack after a while, just the sheer size of it and just the coolness of it, I was like in awe every single time. Old Iron King might be favorite from my looks perspective. Oh, I was just looking at the ones I haven't ranked. Old Iron King. Y'all heard me gush over that the entire playthrough. How many times I keep mentioning the Balrog? So if we're going off looks, Old Iron King is in that top section as well. I probably go Old Iron King probably would be number 1, actually, now that I mention it. Then probably either Dark Lurker or Ancient Dragon than the other. What dragon was locked in the birdcage? That's Guardian Dragon. Guardian Dragon I love. It's just like a red wyvern, which is cool. It's the boss I wish was in Dark Souls 1. Guardian Dragon would have been one of my favorite Dark Souls 1 bosses at the time, because I wanted that freaking Hellkite on the bridge to be a boss so bad, and I was so disappointed when not only it wasn't a boss, but when you do fight it, it's like the worst fight ever. So finally getting a red dragon fight that's somewhat decent made me so happy. And screw it, I'm putting Guardian Dragon in A tier. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Log off if you want, but I'm doing it. That arena is amazing. The arena I actually thought was my least favorite part of the boss, personally, but still, I like it. I despise Bridge Dragon with all my heart. Bridge Dragon? Are you talking about Sin? Alright, let's continue with the tier list. Ancient Dragon is so hard for me to place. It's so cool. The arena is cool. The lead up is cool. The boss looks so cool. And it's so powerful, which is so respectable, and it should be so powerful. The problem is, it's so... because of how much health it has, the boss literally becomes, find a way, not to cheese it, but you have to find a way to, like, pretty much get in a loop that you can just whittle the health down. I don't necessarily wish it had less health. I wish its fly up and breathe fire straight down attack was less dumb. I've seen that you can cheese Ancient Dragon by, like, standing between its toes and baiting out the stomp attack over and over and over again. You're talking Hellkite Drake in DS1? Yeah, I was talking about how awful that fight is. And how disappointed I was. Midir in DS3? I was not talking about Midir at all. Midir is an S tier fight. Right now, I'm talking about Ancient Dragon, though. I don't necessarily think it should have less health. I think its breathe fire down attack should be less OP. I think it should do less damage. If the boss didn't one-shot you with so many attacks, it would feel less of a chore to fight. And maybe if it had more attacks. I feel like it has Stomp, Swipe, Fire Down, Fire Back, Tail Slap. Like, I feel like if it had a little bit more attacks and didn't one-shot you with everything, the boss... Oh, you were talking about the DS1 Hellkite. Oh, my bad, Kami. I wasn't sure what dragon you were talking about. Okay, yeah. I know what you mean. Ancient Dragon, I'm so torn on. Presentation, once again, S tier. But the actual fight... I'm gonna go B tier. Top of B tier, though. Ancient Dragon in my heart is one of my more favorite bosses. But also, it was one of the most frustrating. I want to put it in A tier. Like, in my mind, I think more fondly of Ancient Dragon than Guardian Dragon. But Guardian Dragon is a much better fight. More fun fight, at least. Screw it, I'm going A. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. Also, Vendrick, B tier. Lore-wise, S tier. Fight-wise, he also just has like 3 attacks and just one-shots you. And you have to collect a bunch of items to do more damage, which is pretty gimmicky. Vendrick is B tier. Lore S, actual fight, like C+. So I'll land him in B. We're getting to some good bosses. Before we finish everything out, though, Throne Defenders. I think it's Throne Watcher and Throne Defenders. The Throne Duo. B tier. I'm not going A tier. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I know they're like a discount Ornstein and Smo, but they do it so much worse. They do the Ornstein and Smo formula so much worse. Can't do it. Something has to be top, and you like dragons, so everything adds up. We're getting there. Yeah. The Throne Duo, they're just a piss poor attempt at recreating ONS. Gotta go B tier. Thronies could be so much better than they are. That's what I'm saying. Yo, what's up, Lance? I'm glad you agree with me there. I say piss poor. They're still a B tier fight because it is still a cool fight. But Throne Defenders is one of those fights that has the potential to be S because it could have been like an ONS Dark Souls 2 version, but it's just not. B tier. Now we're getting into the cream of the freaking crop. What's freaking her name, though? She's got to go. What's her name? I don't remember her name. The other daughter of Manus. Totally. How many years has it been since they've made a decent ONS style fight? That's a good point. I do like the Godslayer duo in Elden Ring, but it's also not nearly on ONS level. They've never lived up to it. Alana? Alana's B tier. Decently high B tier. I'd probably put Alana right above the Throne duo now that we're talking about it. Mid-high B. I'd put Ornstein, Vendrick, and the two Smelter Demons in B+. And now that we're talking about it... This is tough. I'd probably move both of these, like, right here. You like the blue lights? Yeah, I did it because we were doing, like, a snow stream. I know you like it, but we'll go back to red soon. Don't you worry. Cream of the crop, the snow cats. I actually put them in B, as you can see right here. The run back is F. If run back was weighed at all, by default it would go straight to F tier. The actual fight itself is not horrible. We did beat that tonight, so that's B tier. Now we are actually at the cream of the crop. So the cream of the crop, A and S tier. We already put these two dragons in A tier. I know that's probably a little nice. At most, Ancient Dragon should probably be B tier, but I'm a sucker for cool dragons. Guardian Dragon I could also see in B tier. It doesn't feel like an A tier boss in memory. It's a little bit underwhelming because I kind of just one-shot it pretty easily. I'm also used to dragon fights. But I'm putting them in A tier. They should be in the B+ tier, but I'm going A tier. You can't stop me. Okay. But let's talk about the best bosses in Dark Souls 2. I mean, I already know exactly where everyone's going. I know what the S tiers are, and I know what the A tiers are. There's two A tiers. Does anyone know what they are? I know Paramedes is going to think at least one of them is an S tier, because he told me it was his favorite base game boss. That's Velstadt. Velstadt is a good boss. It is going to be the top of my A tier. But it doesn't break S tier for me. It certainly doesn't. The other one is the Looking Glass Knight, I think is what it's called. Whatever the one with the mirror shield is. Also a good fight. I'm putting both of those A tier. Those are my two A tiers, which means you know what the S tiers are. Well, let's try to rank them. Anyone have any thoughts of what they're seeing so far? I feel like both of them A tier is good. Okay. Glad you're vibing. I almost want to put, like, Belfry Gargoyles, the Scorpion, and Freyja in C tier, because they're B-. Like, we have, like, our B+ section, like, B+, I don't know if I could technically call these B+. I'd say, like, Ornstein and these top four, 1, 2, 3, 4, like, B+. These through here, like, B, and these, like, B-. So there's definitely a split in B tier. You mostly agree with my S tier? Let's just get the S tier out of the way. What is my favorite boss? I don't know. Let's go bottom up. Of the S tier, my least favorite is Sir Alon. Very freaking fast. I imagine what his boss fight was like for me. He is what I pictured a Sekiro boss to be like. Very quick, samurai-looking thing. That teleporting stationary tree that catches on fire. That would be my big fat ass. That would be what I called my... Like, actually, Lance, I had to think through it. I hadn't sorted out in my head already what my least favorite boss was, but I concluded Aldia is my least favorite boss in the game. So freaking crap. But yeah, Sir Alon is my least favorite of the S tier, but it's still a great fight. Dang. I know... Dang, this is tough. Fume Knight is going to be my next one. I think Fume Knight is most people's favorite boss in the game. But... And it's a good fight. It's in my S tier, so Fume Knight is great. But... I don't know. Considering it was the only boss I'd really heard of from this game, like, Fume Knight was the only name I recognized of the bosses. I, like, seen that Ornstein was in the game. I didn't even know what his boss was called, though. The only boss's name that I had seen before playing this game was Fume Knight. So I guess I was expecting a little bit more. Fume Knight is my favorite. I think it's most people's favorite. Because I've heard great things. Like, the only thing I heard about Dark Souls 2. I've said that about a few things, but, like, reputation-wise, other than this game being the worst of the Dark Souls games, people were like, the Fume Knight fight is amazing. Fume Knight, Fume Knight, Fume Knight. It is a great fight. I didn't vibe with it that hard. I kind of, like, didn't realize it was already over when I beat it. I'm not saying it's necessarily easy. It's not easy. It's not an easy boss. Objectively, it's not easy. But I did kind of punch my way through it faster than I was expecting. Like, it was leagues lower than Melania, which of course everything is. But I wouldn't, it's not, for all the reputation, it's like not even close to like Manus difficulty either. Which, difficulty isn't what makes a boss, not by a long shot. But, I don't know, I was expecting a little bit more from Fume Knight, and that's kind of how reputation and stuff goes. But even if I didn't have any reputation for Fume Knight, which I barely had any anyways, I just heard people liked it, and it is great. So honestly, from what I'd heard to where I'm putting it, it's pretty much the same. But I definitely don't like it more than these other three. What I don't know is how to rank these at all. I was talking crap because it was one of the last bosses I was fighting. I was so tired that last night. I was talking crap about the Burnt Ivory King. But that actually is one of my favorite bosses of all time. And Dark Lurker and Sin are so cool too. Is it pronounced Sin? S-I-N-H? Does that have a different pronunciation? Because there's already S-E-N's Fortress, so I'm like, it's hard. Ivory King is a great fight, a great gimmick. Everything about that is pretty great. Yeah, Ivory King is so good. The only complaint I have about the boss is there's a possibility to have the NPCs in the boss. I would never want to fight that boss with help or fighting against an extra burnt knight. If they just, the second he spawned, the other knights were immediately wiped, and it was always a 1v1 every time, it might be my number one. I might still be my number one. The arena is probably my favorite boss arena in any game. Like, when I think about my favorite boss arenas ever, Old Iron King's boss arena with the freaking Mount Doom and this one. And this one's probably better. This is like the freaking door to Kingdom Hearts, like the freaking door to darkness with this Silver King with his giant magic ice sword. So epic. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I wouldn't want an extra teammate or an extra enemy in that fight. 1v1 every time, that boss is amazing. And again, I don't think of it as my, like, it's so weird. Nothing popped out as my least favorite or favorite boss in this game. But thinking about it super heavily, I think the Ivory King is my favorite boss in Dark Souls 2. Which leaves Sin and Dark Lurker. Both excellent fights. I fought them both in the same night. And I really liked both of them. I also liked Ancient Dragon, which is why I put it in A tier. Even though Ancient Dragon had its freaking issues, which it totally does. Dark Lurker and Sin, how do I rank these? So they're both above, so they're 2 and 3, but where? Because Dark Lurker was a fun fight. I'm going to go Sin 2, Dark Lurker 3. That feels good. That feels good. So number 1, Ivory King. Is that real? The boss arena is just amazing. The lore, amazing. The actual boss, amazing. Like, the fight is so cool, so fun. It's frustrating that you have to go through I really like the NPC fight. The, like, all your knights versus all their knights. Close the portals. I really like that. I don't really like having to do that over and over again. So again, I said this in my playthrough, and I think this sums up my feelings and thoughts on Dark Souls 2 so freaking perfectly. Auto-tune for 5K. I'll talk on auto-tune for a little bit. Hopefully it's not distracting. For real though, I think what I'm about to say, so even though I sound goofy, listen to what I'm about to say. I think this statement encapsulates my feelings on Dark Souls 2 so perfectly. It's so close to being great. It's so close to greatness. I wish I sounded normal for this. I'll go back to auto-tune in a second, Lance. You'll get your coins worth, don't worry. Dark Souls 2 as a whole, and this is how I feel about a lot of the boss fights, including Burnt Ivory King, which is probably my favorite. It's so close to greatness. There's just a couple of things that need to be changed about Dark Souls 2 here and there that would have made it so much better than it is. A lot of the movement mechanics need to be cleaned up. Like the input delay and the dead zones and the movement and the weird I can't sprint after I do a combo for some reason. That kind of thing. But also, and then just like some of the, like there's weird enemy placements, there's just weird choices in this game that make it worse than it had to be. Like I feel like you could like make like a fan version of this game that changes almost nothing, but just adds a couple of things and takes away a couple of things, and this game is great. Like, it's so close to being good. The lore, I don't think the lore really needs to be changed. From what I've seen so far, the lore is so interesting, and absolutely on par with what I expect from Dark Souls lore. So the lore, you don't gotta worry about the lore in this game. You don't need to rewrite the story. The story I'm completely fine with, for the most part. Nashandra's ending kind of comes out of nowhere, but when you actually learn the reasons around what's happening, it's great. I do think a beefed up version of Vendrick would have been a more satisfying final boss, but that would have been really similar to Gwen, so I get why they maybe wanted to not do that. Let me see chat real quick. Solid, honestly. Some quality of life changes. Yeah, that would make Dark Souls 2 way better. And I'm not one of those like, oh, I need to get good. I'm a pleb at these games. I understand how these games are 100%. Dark Souls 2 is just uncharacteristically tedious. It's not like difficult in like the fun challenge sense. It's just like, we're going to be difficult for the sake of being difficult, and we're going to be annoying about it type of thing. Which these games aren't supposed to do, and don't usually ever do. Dark Souls 1 is very difficult, and the only time it's, like, the only, like, one moment in Dark Souls 1 I can think, this is stupid, is Bed of Chaos. Yes, there's some stinkers, you have your Capra demons, your Centipede demons, your whatever. But other than Bed of Chaos, there's nothing in Dark Souls 1 I'd say is straight up bad. There is way too many things about Dark Souls 2 I would say are just straight up bad. Like a lot of the mechanics I talked about already, Aldea, some of the other bosses, it's just like, why? One of my least favorite things is the roll attacks continuing in the direction of the roll instead of towards your lock on target. I did that against Fume Knight a bunch of times. If you were watching that fight, Pram, do you remember me saying, can I please, like, look at the... Can I please attack towards my locked on target? Yeah, it sucks. So that's kind of how I feel about Dark Souls 2 as a whole. But that's all. But I was saying all that because Burnt Ivory King, just strictly the one-on-one boss fight, which is what and then like the presentation of it, all completely S tier. Probably my favorite boss in the series. But if you go back and look at that clip from the stream, that boss fight was when I raged the hardest. Not because of the actual boss, but because of everything around it. It takes like a full 5 minutes to get through the group fight leading up to him. And then there's like in my experience, there was like a 50% chance he was going to have extra help during the fight. But I also wouldn't have wanted to have an extra knight. That would have taken away from the experience of the fight for me. And so I was so mad. My biggest rage moment was that this random enemy was ganking me while I was trying to fight this super cool boss in the coolest arena of all time. And it's just like, why do they have these random things in this game that just take away from the experience? Technically, yes, getting rid of that knight would make it easier, but not in like a babying me way, and just a more satisfying and enjoyable way, you know? And that's kind of how I feel about it as a whole and about that boss. But I'm feeling pretty good about this list. So what I say, the only two F tier bosses are these two, probably. S tier bosses, would I say these? Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm sure there's a couple I might move between C and B and maybe A. But for the most part, I feel pretty good about this list. My S tier, I knew from the beginning, these are the 5 bosses that are actually fan-freaking-tastic. All these bosses are amazing. I definitely think this is the order I would put them in. I'm a little bit shaken in the top 3. Sir Alon and Fume Knight, who some people, I think Pramp said are his top 2, absolutely they're S tier. I have my own little preferences. I mentioned that in the playthrough as well, that I typically stray a little bit. Like, my favorite boss in Dark Souls 1, I concluded kind of recently, I was like, definitely, like, my favorite boss in Dark Souls 1, no contest, is Calamite. I don't feel like most people say Calamite's their favorite. Artorias is my second favorite, and I call Artorias my favorite for a good time, but thinking about it, like, coming back to the game after I've played it so much, and, you know, it's been a little bit, Calamite is always what I'm looking forward to the most when I play through Dark Souls 1. That kind of thing. This boss, it's not as clear, or this game. The Ivory King's entrance to the arena might be one of the best boss entrances in any game, honestly. Yes, him walking through the freaking door, amazing. And even your entrance to the arena. Falling through this pit, and you're not really sure what's going to happen. Like, the lady mentions, like, the Chaos Flame, but you don't realize you're literally dropping into the heart of Mount Doom when you're going into that boss fight. It's so amazing. But then there's just random... And again, I think the group fight before it is so cool. On its own, one of my favorite moments, definitely from Dark Souls 2, but from any of the games. You got your Silver Knights versus your Dark Burnt Knights. It's like the Silver Knights of Norlando fighting the Black Knights from the Killing of the First Flame in Dark Souls 1. It's like that scenario. So cool. But then, what's such a cool concept, that group fight, leaks into the boss fight, which lessens my view, opinion, and experience, and the taste in my mouth surrounding both. The fact that they leak together makes me like the boss fight a bit less and makes me like the group fight a bit less. Especially having to redo the group fight every single time. And also not knowing if you're going to have to get ganked in the boss fight. If those were separate events, they happen, simultaneously, but either give me a bonfire checkpoint between or just clean up the fact that they leak into each other. If you give me one of those two things, then it's the absolute peak of Dark Souls 2 in my opinion. But that's what I'm saying. Dark Souls 2 is so close to greatness. Just tweak a couple of things, and the game gets so much better. And you can point that out in so many moments. Like the whole Frigid Outskirts part. If there's a bonfire at the second or third ruins, that area is A, not going to be nearly as hated. B, it just wouldn't be nearly as bad. What makes that whole duo tiger boss suck, and the whole run back suck, is that it's you're blind, you're getting ganked by enemies, and you have to do it over and over and over and over and over again, and you have no say in the matter. There's no shot you one-shot that whole area. No one, I guarantee you, no one going into that section blind ever made it through without dying. That's how I feel about, I would say it's probably happened with Capra Demon, but very rarely. Same with Bed of Chaos. No one went into Bed of Chaos not knowing what they were about to fight and beat that first try. I would doubt anyone ever beat Bed of Chaos in less than at least 3 to 5 deaths. And there's just a lot of those moments, and that's like the bottom worst part of Dark Souls 1, no contest, everyone agrees Bed of Chaos is the worst. But there's so many of those moments in Dark Souls 2 for no reason. Anyways, I just wanted a huge rant there, but I feel like I really encapsulated my thoughts on Dark Souls 2 there. Any final thoughts from chat? But yeah. S tier looks great. A tier, there's a clear divide, I would say, between these two and these two. But I'd still, A plus and A minus, they are all A. B tier, the top 4 I'd say are B plus. Everything else I'd say is B until we get down to tigers, gargoyles, scorpion, spider. I'd say are B minus. C tier I feel pretty good about. I definitely like some more than others. D tier, Covetous Demon, I wanted to put you in C, but you're a D tier boss. You're just this little pile of nothing. This boss, I think, is cool in concept, and might almost want to put it in C tier, but it just feels like fighting 3 invaders at once, which is whack. This wolf boss is okay, but it's just kind of this gross little thing. Deacons, Discount Deacons sucks. Royal Rat Vanguard is not, difficult annoying, but it's just so dumb. And then Aldea, Scholar of the First Sin, the freaking name of the game, at least the version I was playing. The secret final boss is the absolute most, just such bullcrap boss in the whole freaking game. And that is my Dark Souls 2 tier list. What's up, wait, I was about to do an intro, this isn't in the middle of an episode. Forgive me, everybody. It's time for the cereal tier list. I almost thought we had done this before, but I don't think we have. So, it's time to get absolutely bonkers. It's kind of like the candy tier list. I could only find way too little in a tier list or way too many options. So I threw a whole bunch of stuff I never had. Quote that. Have you had raisin nuts, Rambo? Raisin these nuts onto your chin? Bam! Okay. Let's just get started. As usual, I like to try to work my way up from the bottom. But that's going to be kind of difficult to do here. By the way, I'm not going to apologize for a second. This is a cereal tier list. You're going to discover very quickly that I have a child's palate when it comes to cereal. And I'm not going to apologize one bit. F tier! Raisin Bran. Absolute bullcrap. If I ever taste raisins in my cereal again, I'll end it all, bro. I'm not having freaking raisins in my cereal. Raisin Bran, from the moment I was a small child, tried it for the first time, I was mortified. Who would do something so evil as to put... I copied you? I said it first, dog. Who would do something so evil as to put raisins in cereal? Just awful. The amount of cereal in the gray is an automatic L. Do you remember the candy tier list? Even you were like, I haven't had any of these. Look how many cereal there still is. I haven't even ranked. Goodness. It's always Lance and Rambo being the most negative. Anyways, back to the tier list. I know what my S tiers are already, but it's hard to go ascending order. You've had all those? Golly, this is just a bunch of random, I've never had any kind of checks. Just a bunch of random kinds of flavor, or it's flavors of stuff I had. I just have the normal life, or the normal mini wheats, or the normal Cheerios. Just a bunch of random junk. Chocolate checks, dog, amazing. I mean, I'm not saying none of this looks good. I'm just saying I ain't had it, dog. Gotta keep it real. Gotta keep it a buck. Rice Krispies. Way overhyped. D tier. This is like a chocolate life. Haven't had it. Chocolate Lucky Charms I have had. Better than you think. Not amazing. C tier. Lance, quit saying L. Gosh, can I just enjoy a tier list stream? L, 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 L. Automatic L. Oh, all the healthy cereals you haven't had? L. Bro, I'm not trying to eat cereal to be healthy. I'm trying to eat cereal to get fricked up on a sugar high, bro. All I want when I eat cereal is to just amass massive amounts of just sugar and fat into my body. It's all I want out of cereal. Kellogg's cereal was made to decrease... Oh my gosh, Rambo, always with the wild takes. I didn't know a cereal tier list would be the most aggravating thing of all time, but here are my mods. Okay! I don't think I'm gonna do it in... I think I'm gonna go in order of this list. It's too hard to go ascending order from here. So, S tier. Absolute greatest cereal of all time. We're gonna go ahead and get it out of the way. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. If you disagree, you're wrong. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the greatest cereal ever created. If you disagree, I'm sorry, bro. You're just incorrect. It's the fact of the matter. Nothing will change my mind. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the best. Fruity Pebbles is in the top. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's for sure second best, but for now we're throwing it in second. S tier. Fruity Pebbles, so good. I actually, this might be crazy. I do prefer an off-brand version of Fruity Pebbles. These are like the just standard Fruity Pebbles, which are good. But the off-brand, like the Walmart Great Value version, I think it's called like Fruity Dino Bites or something. I actually think tastes better. Fruity Dino Bites, gas. But it's all Fruity Pebbles. S tier. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is S. I don't know, Cairo, they don't hit like they used to. Oh, they hit. If you have them way too often, they stop hitting as hard. But they hit. Definitely S tier. Both of these are S tier, no question. What else is S tier? When I'm thinking about like my favorite cereals, I freaking love Cap'n Crunch. Or this one says Crunch Berries. What's the difference? Oh, that's like only the Captain Crunch. I'm confused. I always called them Crunch Berries, but I think the actual is Cap'n Crunch. They're amazing. Raisin Bread F is an L, by the way. Lance, I'm going to ban you from the stream if you keep just arguing every take I have. Only Rambo is allowed to do that because Rambo's job is to be hated. Right? If I taste a raisin in my cereal, I'm gonna blow my brains out. It's so bad. Anyways. Did you just say Cookie Crisp was a hard S? Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. It's not as bad as a lot of people say. Cookie Crisp is not good. It is, I will eat it if I'm really hungry and there's nothing else to eat. I'd eat Cookie Crisp. Only scenario. I'm never thinking, dang, I want some freaking Cookie Crisp right now. Never once in my whole life. Ever have I thought, bro, I really want some Cookie Crisp right now. Absolutely never. Reese's Puffs, so good. I'm not gonna throw it an A. I'm not gonna throw it an S. I'm gonna go A for now. Reese's Puffs, amazing. Frosted Flakes, also A. A lower A though. Reese's Puffs far superior to Frosted Flakes, but I think they're both A tier. I might throw Frosted Flakes in B. I feel good about A for now. I'm gonna have to do a lot of scrolling. Fruit Loops, S tier. S tier. Dog, come on, man. I could pour an entire box of them in my mouth and swallow them whole. Well, that's on you. Frosted Mini Wheats. I know it's the old people cereal. I know Frosted Mini Wheats is the old people cereal. I used to work at a retirement home. You think going Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs is a thing? They go freaking crazy for these Frosted Mini Wheats. Freaking maniacal for the Mini Wheats. But they are great. They're so good. I like them more than Frosted Flakes. I'm going A tier for the Frosted Mini Wheats. Like these nuts. Got him. Rambo, how does it feel? Cocoa Puffs, also very good. I don't feel like I like them as much as a lot of people do. I almost want to go B tier. They're kind of in the Frosted Flakes range for me. I'm going to go A for Cocoa Puffs, though. Any and all Reese's products are mid at best. I hated on the Reese's in the candy tier list, but the cereal is so good. Kix. I like Kix, but it's a B tier. Kix is a solid B tier cereal. There's so much to go through. The Sour Patch Kid cereal. I actually had that for the first time kind of recently. It's better than I expected, but not good. D tier. It's a band and a half, TBH. I hate on the Reese's Candy a lot. I'm gonna do Apple Jacks and Trix next. Trix is great. There was a time Trix was in my like top 3. Like it would have been like Cinnamon Toast, Fruity Pebbles, Trix. I miss the like balls. All right, I know you're gonna clip it, quote it, whatever. I miss the balls. Okay, I miss the balls. Ever since Trix went back to fruit, I just don't like it as much. I mean, it's still great though. But is it S tier? I think it's A tier. I grew kind of tired of it. It's definitely higher than everything in A tier, but Reese's Puffs probably. Kicks his booty? No, it's not. Golly. Lance's food takes are just so weird sometimes. Anyone that says they like Raisin Bran is either a middle-aged mom or just clinically insane. We'll stop arguing about Raisin Bran though. What's some other freaking popular ones? Apple Jacks. I really like Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks are fire. Apple Jacks are A tier. Are they above Cocoa Puffs? Never had Trix. Oreos are a low S to high A. Are they just like raisins? In your cereal? I don't like raisins, period. But in your cereal's too far. So is putting fruit. I know a lot of freaking people put fruit in their cereal. You're all crazy. Milk with the fruit and the cereal in the same thing? Can't do it. I told you I got a kid's palate when it comes to cereal, but dog, that's disgusting. Apple Jacks commercials are S tier, that's for certain. I don't know if I can go. I like fruit. I knew you were gonna say that, Lance. I knew you were gonna say it. Just crazy. Have you ever tried bananas and honey bunches of oats or something? If I was gonna have one fruit in cereal, it would be bananas. Because bananas is the only fruit I can think, like, I would drink, like, a cup of milk with and not think it was a disgusting combination. Hirogus realizing he's the odd one out. I only do bananas in my cereal. I just said if I was gonna put one fruit in it, I put bananas. Lance is on his negative Nancy energy tonight for some reason. Don't know why. He's hated on all of my picks for cereal. I just don't like fruit in cereal at all. At all. Yo, what's up, Tony? You're walking into a bloodbath of everyone hating my cereal takes. But welcome in. I'm with Kyroga's fruit and cereal looks terrible. Rambo, gosh, the last person I want to agree with me, especially when I only get one person to, is you. Just invalidating my points. Oreo O's are good. I'm going B tier. I agree with everything else. I just don't announce it because I agree with most of the takes. Only announces the disagreements. So toxic. The only one who agrees to Cairo. Shut up, Pramitus. I got you, Cairo. Tony, please. I need some reinforcements here. Let's talk about the Halloween candies. Boo Berry? I almost vibe with some Boo Berry. TBH. I'm probably gonna go B tier for all the Halloween candy or Halloween cereals. I love the vibe of them. They make me so happy. Even though they're not as good as a lot of the other cereals, whenever they're around, it just puts me in a good mood. I love the Halloween season. Count Chocula is actually good. I'm still gonna go B tier though. Thank you, Tony. Wait. That's the one person who agreed with me, but thank you anyways. I've been kind of skipping over a lot of this mid-tier stuff. Crave. It's fine. But it's C tier. Golden Crisp, I don't like. I don't like Golden Crisp or Golden Grams. Where are Golden Grams at? I saw those. I don't know what Great Grains are. Where are Golden Grams? One of my older brothers loved Golden Grams. These, I don't. They freaking suck. D. You don't like Golden Grams? Oh, here it comes. They're just the much worse Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I always go in there like, bro, Golden Grams, they look like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They gotta taste like it, right? No! They're so much worse. Uh-oh. 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 Here come the wolves. Here come the wolves. I'm not gonna apologize for it. It's my list. I'm not gonna apologize. L, just L. I've had it. And I try to change my mind. It's just not it. I'm just gonna end stream. I'm tired of getting hated on. The combo cereal? What's the combo cereal? Wheaties always have the athletes on them, which is fun, but the cereal is mid. Oops All Berries is good. I prefer normal Crunch Berries, but it's still good. I'm gonna go low A. Finally made one that is a combination of Golden Grams and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'll send you a pic in Discord. It's fire. Maybe it is. Lucky Charms. That's a big one we haven't done yet. Lucky Charms are great. A tier, not S tier. A tier. Probably right there. Yeah, more than Frost Flakes. Not as good as Apple Jacks, I'd say. If anyone happens to be watching this on YouTube and wants to give me some reinforcements, please. Please. I've never had any great grains. I haven't had these bullcrap adult cereals. I only want the kid cereals, bro. Frosted Cheerios are not very good. Not compared to like normal Cheerios and Honey Nut Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios are great, but I think people are gonna get mad. I think Honey Nut Cheerios are a little bit overrated. They're kind of how I feel about like Reese's when it comes to candy. Is how I feel about Cheerios and cereal. They are good, but they're not as good as everyone says. I'm going high. I'm gonna go top of B for Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios. Normal Cheerios that don't have a flavor, honestly, in the right mood, are awesome. But not often. I can't find just actual normal Cheerios, so I'm gonna call these. It says Cheerios and Oats. We're gonna call these normal Cheerios. They look like it, and we're gonna go C tier. Lucky Charms are solid B. Check your Discord. Honey cereals, except for Smacks, which are garbage, are pretty much all my favorites. I do like Honey Nut Cheerios. It's B+, which is good. I like everything in B. Don't get it twisted. Cornflakes, the most standard cereal of all time. Kind of how I feel about the normal Cheerios. They're just classic. I almost want to go B. I'm going to go C, though. I'm not going to go too crazy. The Original Life, great, but not amazing great. I used to love Life, Cinnamon Life. I don't like it as much now. I'm going to go B tier as well. I haven't had Strawberry Life. There's so many of these random side flavors I haven't had, because why would I have? Honey H's or Honey O's? Oh, it's O's, because that's an O. No. I don't think I have these two, but the Peanut Butter Captain Crunch cereal and the Honey Waffle cereal are my favorite. Those are obscure. Crave, like I said earlier, is pretty good, but eh. Chocolate Cheerios. They're C tier as well. They're fine. Cookie and Cream Krispies. I just never really vibed with the Krispies, like, at all. Peanut Butter Captain Crunch is in there, and it's probably my favorite. I don't think I've had it. I'm sure it's like a Reese's Puffs vibe, but I haven't had it for sure. Cocoa Krispies are probably the best. I'll throw those up to C. I'm feeling nice. So much better than Reese's Puffs. Sorry, I haven't had it. Here's the normal Captain Crunch I was looking for. I can't tell what's different about these. There's Captain Crunch. Oh, this is the no berries one. No berries is not it. I do think mixed is better, but all berries is way better than no berries. No berries, I'm going C tier for sure. This looks what I picture the box to look like, though. And I say that as someone who lives an hour from Hershey. LL. Y'all like no berries? Also, gosh, no one says W when I have a good take. Everyone says L when I have a take you don't agree with. I thought Chironia was a positive community, but it's all no W's, all L's. Yeah, talking about oops, all berries. Y'all chat is just oops, all L's. Gosh. I try to build a positive community. I'm left with you people. Cocoa Pebbles are good. They're actually very good. They're actually very good. Dang, they're good. They're on the same level as Cocoa Puffs. I haven't been here for a good take yet. You have some good ones up there, but I haven't picked one while I'm here. Okay, Pramatus. Because all the good stuff is gone already. Honey Bunches of Oats. Overrated, mid, C tier. Honestly, I don't even know if I put them that high. I probably put them closer to, like, there. Oops, all L's. See, that's an L. Just don't vibe. S tier easy? It's just so basic to me. Yeah, oops all L's. That's chat right now. Oh, here's Cinnamon Life. I guess I don't know what the normal life is. What is original life? Well, I guess throw it in the C tier with the other classic cereals. Pops. I like Pops, actually. I'm going B tier for Pops. It's like right below Kix for me. I do like Pops. Original is just sugar, no cinnamon. I've never heard of... How have you never heard of Life? That's kind of crazy to me, actually. Although it's Rambo, so how surprising is it? I haven't had any of the checks. I have had this. It's on the same level as the other normal bland cereals. The strawberry frosted mini wheats, C tier as well. The normal frosted mini wheats are so good though. Had those in A tier. Honey Kicks, good. Kind of like them the same as normal Kicks. Honeycomb. Never had Chex, not cereal. Honeycomb is... I've had like Chex Mix, not cereal though. Honeycomb is slept on. I'm not gonna say it's great. It's not, but it's slept on. No one talks about Honeycomb, but it's pretty good. It's a B tier. At most, it's a B tier, but it's slept on. Yeah, I don't eat BS adult cereal. Frick that, bro. If I'm eating cereal, I want to eat just sugar. I want to eat a bowl of sugar. I don't want to eat something that is halfway good for me. Frick that stuff, bro. I want to eat cereal. All I want. I'm gonna stuff my gullet with stuff that will kill me in 30 years. I don't eat anything that is even remotely healthy. Just give me the garbage. The sugary filled garbage. That's all I want. Anything with checks is straight trash. Deleted. Kid cereal is greater. It always will be. If you're eating cereal to not feel like a kid, why even eat cereal? If you want to be an adult, don't eat it. Cereal is a kid's food. I'll be the first to admit it. I have cereal pretty often. I love cereal. I'm not going to act like it's a grown-up food. Probably too young for it to have been around a lot, but if you get a chance to find a Rice Krispie Treat cereal, it's so good. I don't know about that. Apple Cinnamon Cheerio... C tier. Tricks are for kids and Kyrogas. Well, slurping up them Trix balls. What? Bring back the Trix balls. So much better than the fruit shaped. Trix balls are so much better. Come on. I actually haven't had the other kinds of honey bunches. See, look at how many bullcrap cereals I haven't had. This was the problem we are running into. All the crap adult cereal, I don't want it. Get it out of my face. Rice Krispies are a vehicle for something greater. Have you not had Kellogg's strawberry cereal? We get the cereals that I like. If I didn't like something, why would I get it? The only cereals we were getting in the Kyroga's household were mostly the stuff you see B and above. You know, sometimes we get like the C tiers. Once we'd get the other ones. We did get Goldograms a lot. I was the only one in my family that I know didn't like those. I just never vibed with them. You know what I mean, though? We get the stuff that we know we like once you know you like it. Trix balls are not shaped like fruit anymore. Cram. It went back. It was fruit originally, and then they went balls for like a while. Most of my childhood, I remember them being balls, and then went back to fruit. And they suck! Balls are so much better! Gosh. On the 80s? Pramitus. Dinosaur. I haven't had that. Honey roasted? I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Frosted Krispies. They're like the same. Actually, probably worse. Slightly. French Toast Crunch. I've actually had this. I didn't like it at first, but it's better than you'd think, but it's still C tier. I'm gonna go like right here. Better than you think, but not great. I actually haven't had that, and I actually haven't had that. There's a cereal tier list. I already know how chat feels. All the honey roasted are A's. I just don't know if I've had them. Anyways, this is all that matters. I haven't had this stuff, so here you go. Raisin Bran F tier. You'd like the Frosted Krispies? They're just sugar crap. That's just wrong. So wrong. I don't know. Chat hates my list. Gamers, what do y'all think? Listen, I like some of your picks. Is anyone arguing with S tier? Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruity Pebbles, Crunch Berries, Fruit Loops. My S and A tier is all I really care about. B tier, I would eat B tier. C and below, C tier I'm only eating if I'm like so hungry and there's literally no other food within reach. I'll eat C tier. I will not eat D or F tier. I will eat B tier, but I will choose to eat A and S tier always. That's all I really care about. Who's disagreeing with that? Fruit Loops are like a low B, high C. You're not having the right Fruit Loops. Okay, I've mentioned this with Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles, I prefer like the Walmart version, like the Fruity Dino Bites or whatever. Fruit Loops, it's a cringe name, but the Walmart version of Fruit Loops, I think are called like Tutti Fruities or something. I like them more than name brand Fruit Loops. So
No, we can do
Fruity Pebbles and Fruit Loops, I actually prefer the Walmart brands. I don't feel that way about anything else. Your list isn't bad. I like all your S's, but it should be bigger. I can't argue Fruit Loops being an S. I agree with everything in S and A, even though some other stuff should be there. You're just spouting truth tonight. Oh my gosh. Congrats on the sub, Kami, and thank you, Parametus, for the gifted sub. Cookie Crisp got disrespected ultra hard, though. Apple Jacks are not trash. Golly, what a hater. What a hater. I'm glad at least people, for the most part, not everyone, but seem to agree that my S and A tier has the correct stuff in it. If you think more should be in there, fine. But all I really care about is S and A anyways, because that's what I'm going to be having. I can't remember the last time I had the other stuff. I mean, I had Kix because it was at my fiance's house, and that was the only cereal she had. Same with Life. Like, I wouldn't choose to go get those, though. Like, I'll have those when there's nothing else. I had the Halloween ones around Halloween. Even though I don't like them that much, the vibe they bring, because I love the Halloween season, is fun. But the only cereal I'm going to go get at the store, I'm not even going to get Oops All Berries at the store. I'm going to drop that down because I'm not actually going to get that over normal Crunch Berries. A and S are the only cereals that I would actually get at the store voluntarily. Oops All Berries can go down a tier. There you go. I literally just did that. I didn't even see your chat. I need to figure out how I can get you a care package of cereals from your haven't tried list or not on the list at all that will change your life. That would be a good care package to receive. I would accept that wholeheartedly. But yeah, bottom line of the whole list is S and A tier is the only stuff I'm buying at the store. B tier I will enjoy if there's no other options. Everything else can kick rocks. I don't care about it. That's the cereal tier list. Thank you for watching. Mwah. Why are Honey Bunches of Oats so low? I just don't remember them ever being special when I had them. That's why they're in C tier. These are just like forgettable cereal. I do like the basic stuff. The like, Cookie Crisp I hate on, but it is okay. Cookie Crisp and up I actually enjoy sometimes, but like below Cookie Crisp, like here on, are just so like forgettable. Under Wheaties, well I mean these are all pretty much on the same level. This version of Cap'n Crunch Down, I just don't care for. Cinnamon Life, Almond Honey Bunches. Be way up. Cinnamon Life is okay. I have it in high B tier. It's a B plus cereal. You're asking a lot there. Golden Grahams suck. They don't suck, but I don't like them, dude. Don't like them. Just don't like them. I gotta stop talking about food. It gets heated every time. Talk about restaurants, heated. Talk about cereal, heated. Where's Lice? I need to talk to her. Lice's list would probably just... She loves Kix. She loves Cinnamon Life. And she loves... I think... And then Cheerios. So what's in my B tier, Kix, Life, and Cheerios, are the ones that come to mind for me of the ones that I know she loves. Save her from life-changing decisions, bruh. But you'll eat Kix? Kix is good. Imagine eating Kix. Kix are good. My daughter loves Kix. Thank you. Parametus' daughter is based. All of you are cringe. That's the bottom line. That's all I've learned tonight. That's all I've learned tonight. Talking about rappers, I'll have very few opinions on it. I don't know if I want to do a rappers tier list. I don't know if I want to do any more tonight. I'm kind of burnt out now. Kind of burnt out now. It's already almost midnight. It's been a good stream. We got 3 hours of a stream in. We played some Dark Souls 2 and had a whole tier list episode. I'm chill with that. TBH. That's some content in the middle of a school week. Kicks, Golden Grams, and Cocoa Puffs. 2 out of those 3 are based. 2 out of those 3 are hella based. You know?